Hello and welcome to Behind the Trend. Short stories, big insights. I'm Melissa. Tonight we bring you a story that has captured attention across the United States and beyond. 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos and his father, Adrian Conejo Arias, have returned home to Minnesota after being held in federal immigration custody in Texas for nearly 2 weeks. Their detention sparked national outrage and raised urgent questions about how immigrant families are treated under U.S. immigration policy. Images of Liam wearing a bunny hat and a Spider-Man backpack circulated widely online, drawing public sympathy and driving protests that reached into Congress. Their release was ordered by a federal judge, and this afternoon the pair flew back to their Minneapolis suburb. Today we look at why this case became so symbolic, what officials are saying, and what their return home means for broader debates over immigration enforcement and family rights. The sequence of events began on January 20th, when federal immigration and customs enforcement agents detained Liam and his father just as they returned from school in a Minneapolis suburb. School officials and family attorneys later alleged that agents had separated the boy from his mother and used him as leverage to try to bring others out of the family home, claims that the Department of Homeland Security has called an abject lie. Liam and his father were then transferred more than 1,300 miles away to the South Texas Family Residential Center in Dilley, Texas, a facility designed to hold immigrant families. Images from inside the detention facility showed a child far from home in unfamiliar and stressful circumstances. Their release came after a ruling from U.S. District Judge Fred Beery of San Antonio, who sharply criticized the government's handling of their detention. In his written opinion, the judge acknowledged constitutional concerns about the administrative warrants used to justify holding a minor so far from home. He wrote that children should not be caught in the crossfire of enforcement operations and emphasized the need for humane application of the law. Advocates had argued that Liam's detention was not only unnecessary, but traumatic, especially given his age and the fact that their asylum case remained pending. The judge's order did not resolve the larger immigration case, but it mandated that the father and son be reunited and released no later than Tuesday. Texas Representative Joaquin Castro personally escorted Liam and his father back to Minnesota on Sunday, posting a letter to Liam on social media that highlighted the widespread support that helped bring them home. The case drew reactions from lawmakers, civil rights groups, and community leaders across the country. Senator Amy Klobuchar welcomed Liam back to Minnesota, saying he should be in school and with family, not in detention, and called on immigration authorities to reassess how families are treated. Local school officials earlier expressed deep concern about the psychological impact on students who witnessed or learned of the detention, and said that multiple children in the district had been held by immigration agents in recent weeks. Civil rights advocates argue this case underscores systemic issues in how immigration enforcement affects children and households with pending asylum cases, raising questions about proportionality, oversight, and the balance between policy and compassion. What made this story resonate with so many people was not just the policy debate, but the human element. A 5-year-old child taken far from home, removed from his routine, and placed in a detention center, that image touched parents and families across the nation. When Liam and his father arrived back in Minnesota, the scene was emotional. Neighbors, advocates, and supporters gathered, celebrating their return and reaffirming calls for fair and humane treatment for all families navigating the U.S. immigration system. For many observers, their flight home symbolized a small measure of justice in a broader, contentious debate over enforcement priorities and the rights of those seeking asylum or legal status. The asylum case for Liam and Adrian Conejo Arias is still pending. Their release does not end the legal process, and immigration lawyers say they will continue to press for a resolution that protects the family and others in similar situations. At the same time, this episode has prompted political advocates to call for clearer safeguards for children in detention and renewed calls for congressional oversight of immigration enforcement practices. Tonight, we continue to watch this story because it speaks to larger questions about law, justice, and the treatment of families seeking refuge in one of the world's most influential nations. You've been watching Behind the Trend. Short stories, big insights. I'm Melissa. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get first-hand news.